name is Justice, and I'm with my guy.
Yo, it's poppin', it's your boy Tyaire. How y'all doing?
And you're listening to the Silky Boys podcast, the biggest podcast out right now for what's going on in the culture and your sports needs. Tyaire, how you feeling this week, my boy?
Feel a little bit better, bro. Got the fresh cut, bro. So feeling good going into the weekend right now, bro.
Going to the weekend, and with that weekend, we have the NBA Finals. Here, the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Miami Heat. Officially here, bro. After game one, Lakers probably gonna win in 5.
Yeah, I said Lakers in 5, but I wouldn't be surprised if they got them out of here quick in 4, bro. Just wrap this up and just go back home, bro.
At this point, because they're dealing with injuries to Bam and Dragic right now, so you probably figure, like, I'm not saying that they can't win one, but in all likelihood, if you're gonna lose Dragic, who's averaging about 22 for them,
Your leading scorer.
Yeah.
And then Ben was probably your second leading scorer in the playoffs.
He's probably the best player on the team
during the playoffs, so it's like you're losing your top 2 guys right now. It doesn't really look too bright.
I think for the rest of the series, Miami's just gonna come out competitive in that first quarter, maybe even for that first half. Keep it to like a 10-point, like a 10-point game to like halftime. But as soon as that third quarter rolls around, it's just gonna be Anthony Davis time, and they're just gonna take over from there.
Like I can see them getting one game in, like if they get hot and they're just making all their shots, that'll be like the game they win. Like if they make anywhere between like 10 to 11 threes in a game, then they probably win one. But like I've been watching our reporters, like a lot of their offense depends on if Tyler Hero's going to heat up or not. And if that doesn't happen, then it's really slow. It's not a lot of other people that's going to create for themselves on that team, and that's putting a lot on a 20-year-old player in the finals against probably one of the greatest players ever.
Right. And so now is it going to be time for Jimmy to really take over and become that superstar player that we know that he is, that he hasn't just shown it to be up until this point? Not that he hasn't shown it, but shown it in a different way.
Yeah, and we still have to take into account that Jimmy also got hurt in game 1 too, so that's still something we got to look into. But I feel like Jimmy's definitely going to turn it up, like what he's been saying to the press yesterday, and just him at the end of the game just shaking his head like, all right, I know what we got to do. Like, I feel like him, Pat Riley, and Eric Spoelstra is going to get something together to make this team at least have a chance, bro. Like, they're not just going to go down fighting. Like they said, we didn't get here just to get here. We got here to win. And so a team like that, like I said, with nothing to lose, those are the worst type of teams. So if I'm the Lakers, I'm coming out like I came game 1, foot on their necks every time and not really letting down. Bron and AD have to take over and really can't let up the whole series, because if they give a Heat any sign of life, then that's too much, because they have a better team than the Lakers. So if you give that team life, it's a problem.
Right, and the key for them is, we've talked about this for weeks now, it's just Anthony Davis. Like, he's just going to be, after game 1, you've shown, like, okay, we just blew them out the way that we did. They started to show life towards the end. They made it into a 10-point game. But, like you said, just come out with their foot on their necks in game 2. Anthony Davis just got to close out for them. For the rest of the series, you have to be our go-to guy down the stretch. LeBron's going to do what he's going to do first 3 quarters, but down the stretch, it's got to be you.
He's been the best player in these playoffs, and he just got to keep continuing that. And if they do, they win a championship, and he will deservingly need to win that Finals MVP, because he's been carrying the weight for them in a big way. Because at a point in the game, they were up 22, and Anthony Davis had 22 points. I'm like, if you literally take him out the game, this game is tied right now. So, like, his impact is too strong right now. There's nobody on the court that can do anything with him.
He's too great of a player.
Yeah.
Just plain simple, he's too great of a player. But that's how we're looking at the finals right now. Moving on to some more news coming out of the NBA. So early this week, Doc Rivers and the Los Angeles Clippers parted ways. Mutually agreed to that. Next thing you know, he gets hired by the Philadelphia 76ers to become their new head coach. A 5-year deal. So that means it's a long-term commitment that they have invested into Doc Rivers to turn around this franchise. My question is, can they do it with still Embiid and Simmons on the same team?
I don't see it working. I just don't see how those two realistically match in this day and age in the NBA, where the focus is perimeter shooting. I don't feel those two being the best players and them having to both either be in the paint, or Embiid has to create outside the paint when we really want Embiid in the paint dominating like a big should be. I don't see them both managing that paint the right way. But Doc is a great championship winning coach. Like, in the East, they can compete, they can get to the finals, and that's really all it takes is just to get there. So if they can have a successful year like the Raptors, because all it takes is a good coach. Like the Raptors had Nick Nurse, he was able to coach them and do what they had to do. Doc's a great coach. If he's able to figure it out more than Brett Brown did, maybe pull some out of Tobias Harris like he did in Los Angeles, then hey, we'll see. But overall, I really have no faith in those two and 76ers winning, really. Because honestly, they should have been won about 2 years ago. Realistically, they should have won the East about 2 years ago. They should be the best team in the East every year.
Every team. Like every year, I should say. And you're right about that. And also from Doc Rivers' perspective, do I really want to go to already a disorganized franchise? As I've already seen, I'm going from one destination. You already go from one bad year to another bad situation, right? Mm-hmm. Why not even take a look at the Pelicans' job? You have Brandon Ingram, who's just an all-star. You have Zion there. You have young pieces there. They're a young team that's scrappy. That seems like the perfect team for Doc Rivers to coach, especially moving forward if you're going to decide that you're going to coach for another 5 years.
Exactly.
Why not go there and have the chance to coach Zion and all those guys? To me, that doesn't make sense. I guess the challenge of trying to get Simmons and Embiid to work, and to that point, like, hey, they're in the East. All you need is one good year in the East to get an NBA title. But still, if you're thinking like long term, like, is it going to be worth it though? Because most likely, like you said, I agree with you. Like, I don't think it's going to work long term.
Yeah. Hey. And hey, if they are just we're buying the ring, we just going all in on this ring, then that might just be what they're going for, and they're not really care about the long term. Whatever happens after the NBA contracts get up, the Horford contracts give up, and the Tobias Harris contracts give up, they might just move on after that. So they just said, let's just make it work for the time being. We have all these players under these big contracts. We can't trade any of these players. So why doesn't make use of it, bring in a championship winning coach and see if he can make something out of it. If he doesn't, oh well, we move on and we just rebuild after this. But I feel like this is their last effort, last ditch effort to make some type of title run with this group.
Do you give them 1 year or do you give them 2 at this point?
I'll give them a calm 2 because right now the East is in the limbo. Like, it's up for grabs to anybody. If you can't get it in this 2-year window, then you're not going to get it, honestly, because that means you're waiting until Tatum comes more out of his shell and becomes a bigger superstar. You're letting Miami grow some more. You don't know what Giannis is going to do. You letting, hey, John Wall and Bradley Beal get healthy again. You letting KD and Kyrie are back. You're letting too many teams get stronger in the East, and this is the same formula that you've been using for the past 3 to 4 years, and you telling me after another 2 years, so that's 5 years in with this same nucleus of Embiid and Simmons, yeah, then they're going to have to make some changes, for sure. I feel like they need to make them now, but honestly, they have a calm 2-year window with that duo.
I mean, we'll see what happens, like you said. Realistically, though, probably not.
Yeah.
I really don't think so. But you brought up the Brooklyn Nets real quick. They've been in the news recently because of Kyrie Irving. I was a Kyrie hater at first, I'm not going to lie. I bashed Kyrie. I bashed Kyrie before, especially what happened after what happened in Boston. But I've come around and realized that Kyrie is just Kyrie. He's his own person. He's his own dude. He just lives in the world. And I can respect that, honestly. I can respect that, so I'll let him be him. But the way that everybody else in the media is going at him, the way that they are after his comments about playing with KD and saying, hey, I feel confident enough that dude, 10 seconds left in the shot clock, I feel comfortable taking that shot. And also his comments about, hey, we don't really need like a head coach. Isn't this exactly what LeBron James did years ago? His second time around in Cleveland? And also to the point about having confidence within KD. What's wrong with having confidence in your best friend?
He's also the best player in the world.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with saying those comments out loud? And yet people always want to nitpick at it and make it seem more than what it is. I don't get it, bro.
Honestly, it just comes to, like, if you're not going to succumb to LeBron James, then you're just going to be looking like a crazy guy in the media, honestly. Like, if you don't want to bow down and just follow to the LeBron James storyline, then you're just going to have to fall into that. And that's what Kyrie had to find out in his first stint in Cleveland. He was like, Why the hell is this guy getting all the praise when I'm also putting in mad work too in the games? I'm dropping 40, the same amount as him, but he's the one who gets all the credit. So that's a lot what happened to him leaving Cleveland in the first time, and I just think that's what's ever since then. That's just been the whole media's goal. Oh, Kyrie's so ungrateful. He's so unappreciative. But how could he ever leave the greatest basketball player like that? Who would do that? Like, who would leave that? And it's just like, yo, he's a dog too. He's not one of these guys who grew up idolizing LeBron. Oh, I'm a fan. No, I feel like I can kill you just as much as you can me. Like, you are a man just like me. We breathe the same. You LeBron James. I'm Kyrie Irving. That's the same thing. And I think that's what a lot of people in the media don't see. They don't see that dog in themselves. And I can't really get mad at that. A lot of people don't have that dog in them to stand up to what everybody else is doing. Everybody else is not going to be the guy who goes outside of the crowd. And that's why I like Kyrie. That's why I like KD. That's why I love Kobe, because they're not going to do what everybody else is doing. They're going to do them. And so it's not really different. Like, this is the same stuff I used to see with Kobe. This is the same stuff everybody used to say, oh, he's uncoachable, oh, he does anything. But if you put the right formula together and you put the right players around them, they're going to win. Like, Kobe and Shaq didn't get along. They didn't do anything, but you put them on the court, they won. So no matter what the media says, these are ball players that know how to win. So Kendrick Perkins, all them guys, they really just clowns when it comes to Kyrie, bro. Like, Kyrie knows what he's talking about, like, honestly.
And at the end of the day, this is someone that's proven an NBA champion.
Exactly.
A proven NBA championship that took the biggest shot in Game 7. And KD, hey, he has 2 rings as well.
And took big shots and closeout games over the Cavs.
Exactly. And also, like, even, like, the criticism of Steve Nash, too, because I saw a little bit of that, too. I'm like, why are we criticizing Steve Nash when he was a part of that championship coaching staff that won a ring in Golden State?
Like, he's not a 2-time MVP point guard, one of the greatest point guards of all time.
Like, he didn't already coach Kevin Durant. What didn't already, like, was already instrumental in his development in these past, like, 2 years. I don't know why, like, this is even a storyline or why we're even talking about it. I truly don't. The fact that people want to make it up just so much bigger than what it actually is. It's just, at the end of the day, it's basketball. Let these guys just chill and do what they want. Because at the end of the day, it goes back on the court and ball. If I have a 7-footer that can score from anywhere, and I know I'm one of the best point guards in the league, it's going to work. It's going to just flat out work. I don't know, man. What's going on with everything else, bro?
I don't know, man. Everybody don't got that in them, bro. Everybody's not the same, bro. Everybody's not cut the same from the same cloth. That's what I just see when I hear these people talk, bro. Like, everybody wants to be a passive guy. Everybody wants to not say what they want to say. Just say what you got to say. Stop sugarcoating it. Stop running around the bush. Say what you need to say. And that's that, bro.
And speaking of somebody who's not cut from the same cloth as somebody else, Pat Mahomes and Mitchell Trubisky.
The Sam. Michael Jordan and Sam all over again, bro.
It's wild.
This parallel is really wild. Like, it runs deep. And if I'm a Bears fan, this is just Chicago fans, this is just the sports gods taking it from you. Like, they couldn't give you the 2 greatest of all time in both major sports. They couldn't do it. So you had to take this L with the young guy Mitchell Trubisky, and that's where we're at now, bro. So get us into it, bro.
Lost his starting job after only 2.5 games. He had a 2-0 start as a starter, holding after an interception threw in Nick Foles. Nick Foles comes back and gets a win against the Falcons. Mitch, wow, just the storyline itself.
Mitchell Trubisky, man, the Sam Bowie of fucking football. It's a sad story. Like you said, he started 2-0. He threw 1 pick, was down 16 points, and they're like, you know what? We're done. Like, we're done. We've seen one too many Patrick Mahomes highlights, my guy. Like, we're done with you and we're done with this situation. And honestly, it's a sad situation, but I would be sick. Honestly, I would be sick. If I'm a Bears fan, I'm sick every single day that I see Patrick Mahomes throw the ball 70 yards down the field, and Mitchell Trubisky is struggling to complete slant passes to our receivers. Like, and it's just like, what can you do? Like, he was in an improbable situation. He had a backup quarterback that was a Super Bowl MVP. So like, he wasn't gonna really win this job at the end of the day. Like, they knew what they were setting him up for. They were like, yo, you have one good year, you made the Pro Bowl, we really don't know how you made the Pro Bowl. But we had a good defense, but when it was time to win, you fumbled because you're not a real quarterback. So now you're out of here. You can be a number one draft pick as a backup quarterback. Enjoy that life. You can cash checks. You're a white quarterback in the NFL. You're gonna cash checks till you're 30.
No matter what.
Like,
no matter what, a team is always gonna take a flyer on you just because you were a first round pick.
Exactly.
They're always gonna take a flyer on you.
Exactly. You can run it like, oh, maybe we can do something with you. Maybe you can build a scheme around. No, you can't. But hey, somebody can hope, man. Pick up on young Mitch. But as far as him and the Chicago Bulls, that situation is dead.
You can't get Mike. You can't get Pat as a sports city.
Yeah, that's what it just came down to that.
That's all it was. Like, this is the price that you pay.
Y'all enjoy Mike. Now y'all gonna have to sit and cry and Pat. Like, y'all have to sit back and cry and watch Pat.
That's all it is. Everything is just equal. It's equal.
I'm just waiting for the Jets to get one. Like, what do we get? Like,
bro, do we want to get into that?
let's get into that.
Let's get into it, bro. Wow. So the fact that we still haven't fired our coach yet. It's Friday. Why haven't we fired our coach yet?
They say that will stunt the growth of Sam Darnold. But yet we're still out here pushing the narrative that Trevor Lawrence will be the quarterback next year. So which one is it?
Like make your decision. If it's about Sam, come out and say that. If you're just tanking, then just fire Gase.
Exactly. Because if it's about Sam, you would fire Gase. He can bounce back, prove what he has to do for the rest of this season. Y'all get him a new coach. Y'all draft an IC with the first pick in the draft. And you build that lineup, that second pick we have in the first round, you get a receiver. And then we build around that. Sign some big time free agents. A cornerback, please. Sign people on the defensive line. Please. If I forgot his name, homeboy from the whatever. If a lineman, Nakwe Kwake, that guy from the Jaguars, if he's free, sign him. Like, when there's big time pass rushers that are waiting there to be signed, sign them. Like, I don't know, when Jadeveon Clowney is saying, yo, New York, come get me, sign them. Don't be stubborn. Because look what has got us, a 0-4 record. Back-to-back years. Like, we haven't proven anything for the past 60 years, bro. 60 years, we're still here. This same storyline. We're still looking for a quarterback to replace Joe Namath. Like, that's the storyline that is still there. The successor to Joe Namath, bro. Think about how many different organizations, how many different quarterbacks they have had. Are they still stuck on their noble quarterback, bro? Is the Steelers still saying we have to success Terry Bradshaw, bro? No. The Colts are not thinking about passing John Irsay, bro. They have Peyton Manning after that, bro. Like, the 49ers had Joe Montana, then Steve Young. And the Jets are still like, you gotta find the next coming to Joe Namath.
I mean, we had Chad Pennington. We had Chad Pennington. And Mark
Sanchez. And now it's going to be Sam Darnold. And now it's going to be Trevor Lawrence. And the cycle is going to continue until the ownership is like, oh, maybe it's us. When I'm 50.
That's when they'll get together. They're like, oh, wait, yeah. We haven't been competitive in how long? We haven't found, like,
in 100 years?
What?
Or our last Super Bowl was in 100 years?
Wow. The fact that actually could be the reality.
Yeah, for 2060 when I'm 60 years old.
Yeah, that's in play, potentially.
Yeah.
That's in
Guess what? I won't be a Jets fan by then. If they get to then, I won't be a Jets fan at all. I'm telling you, the Jets have a 3 to 4 year window with me, and then after that is wraps. You have 4 first round draft picks. You don't get it done with those 4, I'm out of here, guys.
Like, you have all the pieces right there in front of you.
You have the most cap space in the NFL and 4 first round draft picks. If you don't get it done, there's nothing else to do here.
Like, there's no, like, the only reason why we have a 0-4 start is because of the coaching staff. And even then, we were still questionable with the Adam Gase hire in the first place.
Like, you can't tell me, oh, it's injuries, that's why we're not winning it. Guys, we just lost to the team that were on their 3rd string quarterback.
And how many penalties did we have during that game?
But if we're going to use it's injuries that Adam Gase had. Last year, he had the same chance with a 3rd string quarterback. He couldn't produce anything. But the Broncos could? Pat Schumer and the Broncos could? You tell me Pat Schumer, who just got fired from the Giants? His replacement got fired. You tell me him?
He's making a 3rd string quarterback actually look capable.
Yeah.
Like, they went out like a 3rd string quarterback.
Got it.
Went out and won a national football game on Thursday night.
Got it, but this is our guy. Yeah, got it. Okay. Offensive genius.
All right, we'll be back, y'all.